Eating everything. Good evening. Welcome to the East Bridgewater Finance Committee for March 3rd, 2025. We have a couple of reserve fund transfers, and then we've got a couple of department budgets to go through. So let's start with one of the reserve funds we have here, since the Board of Health is here. So go, shoot, let's shoot.
So we are requesting a transfer in the amount of $25,200 for funding basically a 12-week interim health agent. We're projecting it to be 21 hours a week at a rate of $100 per hour as a temporary 1099 position.
Can I ask why the rate is so high?
Yeah, so in the, so what we also did down here is we stated what the interim health agent would be doing, and it does encompass a lot. The $100 that we got from, we utilize HPHEG, it's a regional office, it's the 6 regional, the communities around from us, and when we do use them, that is the going rate, and we did go look outside too and do some small analysis, but that is the going rate for having someone come and do a contractual work for us. We have utilized them in the past also, last year and in 2023. And currently, they have been giving us services right now for the last 2 weeks, and those services are funded through the state, and they will be stopping tonight. So as of tomorrow, when we utilize their services, we will be getting charged for those services.
And you only need coverage for 12 weeks?
That's what we're in the process still of identifying the time frame, and we don't have a clear picture of that as of tonight.
Okay. Any questions from anybody? I mean, we have to have a health agent available. So,
Where is the search for a permanent health agent? Where does that stand?
We're just starting the search.
Okay. And what is the approximate pay rate for a permanent health agent versus the $100 an hour?
Currently, we had it at 41, so it would be probably between, there's a range.
right.
Pending on what the board decides on how they're gonna utilize the position as a health agent.
But on an hourly basis, it's
Now, on
probably
an hourly basis.
not more than
This is
50,
interim.
right? I mean,
I'm sorry?
on a permanent basis, it wouldn't be anywhere near this, more like
40.
max of 50.
Max 50.
Yeah.
So, okay, we need a health agent. I'd entertain a motion.
So I move to transfer from the reserve fund $25,200 to cover the interim health agent.
Okay,
I second that.
any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
And
So we get the backup paperwork.
Thank you, I will
Sign
get
it
it.
off tonight.
yes.
All right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
There you go.
So Charlie's very busy back there, so we'll take some of these large departments first. How's that? Concom? That's the Conservation Committee?
You just like saying it. Sounds like
Hey,
Comic-Con.
Sounds cool,
Doesn't
man,
it?
right?
It does.
Good evening. My name is Alex Welch. I'm the conservation agent for the town and the department head for the Conservation Commission.
All right, let me. All right. Let's, I'm bringing it up so I can see it, because you printed it very
Yeah, I
small.
apologize about that.
Okay. All right. So, you're tasked with a certain goal, and considering the financial situation of the town, and you met those goals. It's actually a decrease from last year's budget, what you're looking for. And can I ask you, how would this impact you?
Yeah.
You know, for now, I don't foresee it being, you know, too large of a impact on our office. Our supplies budget has been at $1,600 for some time. We're requesting that just to be under $1,100, you know, per the memorandum that went out from the
Is that-
selectman's office.
Is that how it's trended over time anyway?
Decreasing?
Yeah.
I'm actually not too sure. Since I've been here just over 3 years, it has been steady at that number, but we were asked to come in and over a 1% decrease. So we don't have too many accounts, so we kind of had to pull from the few we do. I don't foresee any large supplies purchases coming down the pipe for us. You know, we did some I'll call it like ergonomic purchases this past year to standing desks the other year and stuff. So we're in a pretty good spot. Joanne's our part-time clerk in the office. So I think just about $1,100 we'll be able to get by on for the near future. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the commission has a what we call an NOI, notice of intent account, that we get portions of filing fees from the state, and if we really needed to, we could dip into that for future purchases. If we wanted something really big, like new computers for the commission or something like that, we would probably go into that fund to pull that money out.
All right. Anybody else got any questions?
Yeah, I noticed there's no increase on the department head salary. Is that you?
That is correct, yes.
Do you not have any contractual raises or anything?
I do not actually have a contract with the town. I'm an employee at will. I have a letter of understanding, I believe it's what it's called. Currently, I don't have a contract with the town. So.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I guess we'll do IT next, huh? See if we can see yours. Same thing.
Good evening. My name is Ryan McGonigal. I'm the IT director for the town. I'm presenting my FY 26 fiscal budget. Overall, we're seeing an increase of about 1%. A lot of this has to do with our large decrease last year. I believe we had a 22% decrease in our budget last year. So this is a level service budget. Basically, I'm seeing about a 1% increase to all my costs to keep level services for the town.
What was the large decrease last year?
The large decrease last year, it was a combination of removing some software, moving to software that were lower costs. The biggest one being changing permitting software companies. We moved from People's GIS to a different software, which went from about $45,000 a year to about $22,000 a year.
From how much to how much?
About 45 to 22.
Okay.
So that's really the biggest decrease we saw last year. One of the reasons why we were able to only see a 1% increase this year is we opted to do a 3-year contract with our Barracuda email protection and security gateway. The original number they came back for as a 1-year renewal was much higher than I had originally budgeted for. The issue with a lot of my lines is they're estimated lines based off previous years of increases what we're seeing. A lot of renewals I have don't actually come up until like April of next year. And most times trying to ask a company like, hey, can you give me an estimate of, a quote of what this renewal is going to be 18 months out? Most of them won't do. Yeah. So what I typically do is I talk to people that I know that are using the software to see, okay, what kind of increases are you seeing? Also looking at trends of previous years of, okay, usually I'll see like a 2.5%, 1%, 3% increase on the software yearly. So I use that to estimate off what my estimated increase is going to be. Because that particular software came in so much higher, after talking to Melanie and Charlie, we opted to go with a 3-year renewal because we were going to see a much bigger, lower cost over those 3 years. I believe it was actually a savings about, remember Kelly, I want to say it was like $21,000 over 3 years.
So the cost for it is all paid up front or each year?
Yeah. To see that big decrease in cost, we had to pay for it up front, which I was able to support it through my budget this year.
Okay. So next year there'll be a decrease?
No,
You paid
this year is the year. I don't have that line on my budget for FY 26.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were able to pay for it through the FY 25 budget.
Okay. All right, and the year before you saved about 22,000 on it, so, I don't know, guys. $3,000 more dollars, is it worth it? Tell me 5 things you did last week.
Oh, no.
Oh, let's
No,
see.
no, I'm only kidding. Okay?
I can give you one big one that we're trying to
What
do.
was that?
You're unbelievable.
What? Go ahead, got my interest.
We, in conjunction with police and fire, we were trying to get about $250,000 worth of free equipment and software for the town.
What type of software for?
Different types of software. Document software for fire departments, new switching for the town, which I think totaled to about $170,000 worth of equipment.
Right.
So hopefully, things that we're due to replace that we hopefully don't have to pay out of our own pocket in the future. Different things, cameras, access control, for a new access control system for the fire department, MDTs for the cruisers.
All right, so come to work tomorrow.
All right, sure.
I'm sure, right now. Any other questions?
I do.
Okay.
Your salary looks like it's decreased from this year's budget.
Yes, so I actually didn't have a contract. I still technically don't, but hopefully we'll be signing one next week. That was an estimated cost. So what I put in for the next fiscal year is what my budget number should be for this year, plus a 2% increase. It's an estimated. That may change depending on negotiations, but I wanted to have some type of a number in there so it wouldn't kind of like throw everything to a monkey, like a wrench machine.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie, would you like to do the transfer request?
I know.
So back in January, the town meeting voted 120,000 for schematic design work at the middle school.
Excuse me, do you have a copy of that request? Because I didn't have anything in my
I
box.
have three.
Oh, okay.
This is for a doors, windows, and roof project through the Massachusetts School Building Authority. So we are going to eventually, if the project moves forward, get reimbursed, I believe, at the 57% rate. When we had the article at town meeting, before then, I had talked to the MSBA. They would not give us a firm number of what to use. They said, look at the other recent projects of these types. I came up with 120,000 to pay for the owner's project manager and the architect. MSBA thought that was sufficient. We went to town meeting, got the money, started the contract process. The OPM is a straight $15,000. And it's always $15,000 no matter, for this type of project, no matter how many windows or roof or whatever else you're doing. The architectural number came in higher than what we can do for 120. It came in, where is it? It'd be 122,000 or some odd, which would bring it to 137. I want to, given how everything's going right now, have a contingency, so to bring up to 145,000. If we don't move ahead with the project, then we get bumped off the list. We would start over again if we were interested, which we are, because we need to get the roof replaced and the windows replaced and a few of the doors there at the Mitchell School. But we would wait about 2 years to get to the position where we're at right now.
And by that time, there could be much more damage from the leaky roof within.
And it will, everything will cost that much more for everything, even setting aside what you just mentioned.
So when we originally went to town meeting, the number you used was something that the MSBA agreed upon that was probably reasonable.
Which would be sufficient,
As
right?
guidance.
And what our OPM has talked to the architect, and the architect said, well, MSBA's for whatever reason, didn't include enough money on the entry cost, because obviously with the windows and the roof especially, we wanted to put in energy efficient infrastructure in there, and that's gonna cost us that much more money as part of the schematic design.
Okay. Is there any other questions? This is just a follow-up in addition to what was passed at town meeting.
What's the total amount?
So,
I'm
total
asking
amount?
for 25,000 more, that would bring the
$25,000.
total for the project to 145, which would include about a $7,500 contingency.
Okay, thank you.
So, any other questions? No, seeing none. All those in favor?
Do we need to do?
Oh, we gotta make a motion first. Come on, Eddie, you're slowing me down over here.
I was waiting for the signal. I make a motion to transfer from the reserve fund $25,000 to cover additional costs for the schematic design for the work at the Mitchell Middle School.
I second that.
All right, now. All those in favor? Aye.
I appreciate it. Keep you apprised of how things go.
All right, thank you. Charlie, wasn't there one other one that was gonna come tonight?
Brian needed money for the central school. It must not have
Oh,
gone.
all right, so I saw him, he'll bring it next week.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Okay,
it must
all
not
right,
have
I
gone
knew there
this
was
way
something.
sometime.
Oh, for the sewer pipe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, who should we do first?
You might know.
All right, let's do the assessor's
Why don't we
office.
just put two more chairs up there, do all four.
Right.
Come on up, yeah, come on up.
That's a good idea.
Pull 2 chairs, we'll go one at a time.
Okay. Oh, do you have a copy of,
We have one.
okay,
Why, do you have multiple?
yeah, just in case.
Well, if I can see this.
That was thoughtful of you, thank you.
Can you make
So,
Yes, I'm going to do that. All right. Okay.
Sorry. Dave, did you already approve the transfer for the copier? Somebody took those. slips.
I have them right here.
The copier?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be the other.
No, there was one for Ryan, too, for the school. The copier one is one I just saw tonight. So. Okay.
okay.
So I can see that you stayed pretty much in line with our request. There's not much you can do with a smaller budget. Can you take us through maybe a few things like where you made some of these deductions and like
Well, what,
salary increases?
the salary increase up top was, contract for me, but I had 6 come from under the salary part, then the other part, I took out, the 6 came from our valuation maintenance fund.
The 6 what?
Oh, yeah.
There's a 6,000 increase in the department head salary.
Yeah,
Well, there was actually 8,000.
Yeah.
6 of it came from the bottom, where I agreed to do some more.
okay.
So that's where we found that. The other 2 was my regular increase with the contract, and that included the stipend. So that went up, which usually, that's kind of like part of the salary increases that we don't usually have to absorb within our budget. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to get with.
Yeah, so, and I don't know if Melanie can explain that, but, I mean, I shouldn't have to get a contract, like, get a contract increase, then find it within my budget. I already found as much as I could for my budget for that purpose. So that looks, if you put that in, if they actually, if that came from wherever the powers that be, that comes from when you increase union contracts and regular contracts, usually it's not from our budget. So that needs to be part of the picture, and then I actually didn't increase it or not decrease it. So,
So your decrease in total other expenses is really predominantly the $6,000 out of valuation maintenance.
yeah, so if you, right, so so that 6 covered the 6 of the 8,000 increase. Then I was able to let go of clerical salaries went down a little, and then vacation buyback went down a little. So if you,
Vacation buyback went down a lot.
yeah. So those definitely came out of my budget.
Yeah.
And then, I tried to do some stuff, but you're just, I'm getting a cut line, like, there's no large amount to cut in my department anymore, as we all, us little departments, littler, you know what I mean,
You
because
don't
we're
have a
not.
lot of line items.
Huh?
You don't have a lot of line items.
I don't have a
to
lot of
look at.
line items, like, I can't keep, I'm doing a succession plan within my office. I'm retiring in a couple of years, so I have some education that needs to go to people in my office. I'm hoping to, kind of move that along. And then the training and education is the conferences, lots been changing lately, the HERO Act, like, there's just a lot of things, like, if you're not up on all that stuff, you can get away with doing my business as assessors, it's constantly changing. So, yeah, besides that, I can't cut my office supply anymore. We have a mapping thing that keeps going up. PK services went up 5, they actually told me they're gonna go up 5 and 5. So it's just, that's hard. And you can't really negotiate, I mean, they're my CAMA system, and the others are a lot more money. And he gives me a pretty good, good price, as opposed to other towns, because he likes working with me and my DOR rep, and it's all, and I do a lot of the work that,
So we're gonna lose that discount when you retire?
Probably, but you'll also, I hope, lose the 20 years escalation of where I am, so I'm hoping you can,
All right,
good
okay.
talent and a lower amount of money, I don't know these days, but be hopeful.
All right.
The stipend wouldn't carry through. That's not something that anybody really has coming into a position that's few and
All
far,
right.
so.
What do the maintenance fees cover?
Maintenance, wait a minute.
Right under training.
Maintenance fees? So maintenance fees are that, that amount that our CAMA system all runs on this big, huge computer system. And then there's the guy behind the curtain, you know, and he does all the values and the reports and keeps it all up and running. So that's kind of our agreement with them, that's why we use their system. So it's on average, and that just keeps going up. And then the mapping services, we have 2 different kinds of mapping programs. And the valuation maintenance is the overall, like, him and I sit at the end of the year, we go through all the sales, it's all the stuff that gets submitted to the Department of Revenue. And, yeah, I mean, Bridgewater has the same system and pays about $90,000 for the same amount that we pay, so I don't really gripe about that. We're lucky that we're getting that. I hope it continues moving on, let's put it that way, but I think we'll be in good shape.
So the bottom line is, it's an $800 increase over last year.
It's what?
An $800 increase
Oh,
over
I didn't think it
last
was an increase. Oh, okay. Well, it seems like that, but if you take out the two something that comes from the salary, I think
I'm
it
not
brings.
complaining about it.
Huh?
I'm not complaining about it.
Okay.
Okay?
This is a big year for us, too. We have a lot, the certification is, once every 5 years, and it's this year, and we've got a lot going on, so. And we have a lot of construction and lots of new stuff happening with everything in the town.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So, what do we think? Do we want to have the money people come up first, or the hard-working clerk?
I would say the hardworking clerk.
Where's you go? Please join us.
Do you guys need copies?
If you got it in large enough print, you want.
I don't think it's large, I'm sorry.
Well, let's see what we can do. Can't wear these. Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I can read these.
What one's that?
So I understand that, like, your biggest, you've decreased, but a large part of that is because there's no presidential election this year?
Correct.
And is there a state election, too?
This year, no.
Okay.
So for the fiscal year '26, it's only going to be the town election.
Okay. So this reduction relates to both of those, presidential and no state?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So next year, there'll be a state election, so there will be an increase.
Yes, it'll probably go back up. This year, we're playing a little bit of catch up with our budget because we have not, for several years now, been doing archival work that needs to be done for some of our vitals. So my plan is to use some of the money to buy the books that haven't been bought, I think, for the last 3 to 4 years, as well as getting back on a schedule of every year sending a book of our much older vitals off to an archival place to have them bound. And then that way I can start reusing some of the like temporary ones that we use for about a decade usually, which will hopefully, once we catch up and we're in a cycle, that would hopefully kind of even out again.
So the overtime line went down, is that because of the elections? That's
Correct.
why?
Yep.
Okay. Dues and membership in conferences went up 1,000. Was that related to anything specific?
Yes, I'm currently enrolled in the New England Municipality Clerks Institute and Academy to earn my certified municipal clerk designation. It's a 3-year program, so I have to attend not only a week-long intensive coursework series, but then I also have to attend, I think it's 3 conferences for that one alone, to do my education and experience points, so that at the end I'll be able to get my certification. That's actually going to help. I actually hopefully will be going for 3 certifications. So I'm going to do, there's also a Massachusetts certification that there's a test. This program also helps me with that process as well. So, and then there's a master level as well that I'm hoping to get in my 4th year. Very
Board salaries.
That is for the Board of Registrars.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Any questions?
Good job.
Hmm?
I said, good job.
Good job. Wait till we get to the next two.
We'll see.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
So
Together?
well, if you open up the treasurer's, it's a very long one.
It is really
okay?
long.
So we'll do the accountant first.
A lot of debt.
Yeah.
I know, I saw
Come
that.
up together?
Yeah, come up together. Accounting's pretty simple, there's 2 people.
A lot of her stuff is with me too. This is mine, 'cause it's short and easy to print.
Mine's 5 pages, so I didn't make copies.
That's okay. We have it.
We don't wanna use all the paper in town hall.
Yeah. Ooh, nice
Because we didn't
font,
budget
too.
for
Yeah, I
fun.
know, I can make it big, I can put it on one sheet.
So nice. Look at that.
I'll just run through mine real quick. The department headline is the same for 2025. I'm in a 3-year contract, but, so the first year was FY '25, and this was, the 123 was the agreed upon for 125, and then FY '26 and FY '27 are to be negotiated, so right now, there's nothing there. The big increase is the admin support. So the assistant town accountant retired in December. So FY '25 was budgeted at, because she was down to part-time, but the FY '25 was budgeted at a step 1 full-time position. So in FY '26, the position will go up to a step 2, but the bigger increase is because the girl that came in has her bachelor's degree, so it's an 8% education stipend. So that's why the increase is bigger there. We don't have the longevity anymore, no vacation buyback, training and education, the rest is the same. There's very minimal here. The training and education is mostly the school that I have to go to every 2 years, and then there's like miscellaneous conferences, and there's very, very little there. I couldn't cut any of it. Sorry.
Well, I personally don't have any questions. I've gone through this one. Does anybody else have any questions?
No.
Now, do you want to have her stay to help you?
Yeah, I'll stay.
You can hang
She
out with
can-
me.
All right.
We work very closely. We're
Yeah.
sister offices.
The state, hers is kind of like a State of the Union when you get to the end of it, so.
Yeah, well, we'll cover that the very last part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's focus in on the budget first, the operating budget.
All right.
Okay. So let's just go through the treasurer collector components first.
You got it up, ready to go?
Hmm?
You ready? Are you ready?
I'm looking at it.
Oh, I didn't know if you were looking for it.
No, I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay, you're good to go.
So this year, myself and my assistant are eligible to sit for the, I'm eligible to sit for the treasurer exam, and my assistant's eligible to sit for the collector's exam. And in my personal agreement, if I pass this test, I get $3,000 onto my base salary. If my assistant passes the test, she gets the Chapter 41 stipend, which is the $1,000. So we're hoping that we pass the test.
So you're already anticipating you're gonna pass.
I'm anticipating it.
Oh.
Fingers crossed. It's
You gotta
it's a
go in
3-year
optimistic,
process.
yeah.
3-year process. So we are eligible to sit for it this year. So we've been studying and optimistic.
I don't want to curse you or anything.
Thank you.
Oh.
For the clerical salaries, we didn't budget for per diem that we've been using. We've kind of been able to level ourselves off. For the longevity pay, my assistant is eligible for $600, I think, and $25 this year because she's hitting her 10 years. And neither of us intend to buy back any of our vacation time. We both rather use it rather than get paid out for it. So that's why that went down. Onto the other expenses. I looked historically back at a lot of these line items, and I was able to adjust accordingly. Like training and education, typically we never reach the 2,300, and with us staying even one extra day to take the test, we would still be below the $2,000 that I have budgeted. The increase for billing has gone up because of our water. We have to bill it quarterly now, so we've seen an increase for that, which we didn't know at this time last year that we'd be going quarterly. So I also had to raise the postage because based on the quarterly increase, we're also
Yeah.
mailing out
More.
So there was a $5,000.
Why did we determine to go to quarterly instead of?
It was Mass DEP, I believe it was, or some Massachusetts organization that required him to do it by a certain time. So they had to do it by July of this fiscal year.
Okay.
So they did just do the quarterly catch-up, so now we're up to date.
Is it mandated that things go out by mail versus if people opt to do electronic delivery?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure on
Because
that.
that would help.
We have set up our online payment system to show bills currently, so you are able to see your water bill, your excise bill, your real estate bill. So
Wish
hopefully if
that's-
that's not mandated, it is available online currently.
It would be good to explore that, though, as an option to go paperless, because then you save the postage, you save the paper, you save the print.
Right.
And everybody's
I'll write it
kind
down.
of used to that.
Yeah, that makes
I'll look
sense.
into it.
So, office supplies have gone down, cut in half.
So we recently bought new chairs for our office. We have no room for any other major furniture. Like, we don't need any more filing cabinets, like, we're stocked up, so I don't expect any large purchases. Right now, we haven't had any large purchases, and we're halfway through the fiscal year, and we've only used like maybe $1,000. So keeping it at the 1,800, I'm comfortable with.
Nice.
And what's the financial services cut?
So we cut that a lot last year. It was at like 43,000, I believe, and we typically only use those funds if we do go out for bond. We just recently went out and bonded, so I don't expect us to really use it that as much. So taking that into account, I was able to cut it a little bit, but I moved that money to our CDS budget for billing to kind of balance it out.
So you're basically flatlined on your budget.
Yeah.
Flatline.
Yeah.
It's dead.
No, it doesn't.
The dead
I
part
tried
comes
to
in the
keep
next
it at-
couple of pages,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that's where it is.
All right. So what you've listed out here is Medicare payments. Billing services. Oh, okay, so these are all the projects that are bonded.
Yeah,
Right.
this all ties right back to
To the debt book.
And the amount in here is what we're obligated to pay. And I'm gonna assume you already have looked at what's coming up or will be falling off in the next 2 or 3 years.
I have that in my office. I think in FY '27, want to say we go down maybe 240,000, and then after that, it's like maybe 20,000 a year.
What is it this year coming?
This year, we're up 600,000, I think, 500, because we had that big borrowing in July. So we're up
So we got
significantly this year.
nothing big down the horizon. And we got, what, another 12 or 13 years on the high school?
No, only, I think most of it's by 2031, I think.
2031, that's the year the
Think so,
world's
yeah.
gonna get beautiful for
Yep,
us,
it's
isn't
gonna be a
it?
beautiful day.
If we're still here.
Are we supposed to get a meteor or something?
Hmm?
Are we supposed to get a meteor?
I was gonna say, I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's
I
supposed to be
intend
media
to be
hitting
here.
too, right?
I think
I
they
don't
lowered
think
the
I will
odds
be at
that that was
retirement
gonna
age
happen.
then.
I wish.
Megan and I will still be here, God willing.
Even if a meteor wipes everybody else out.
Okay.
That's not happening, by the way.
Right.
No, they said there was now a very small chance. of
Yeah,
that being
like,
here. Might hit the moon though.
Can you just explain what debt service interest is?
That's just the interest on the principal payments for the debt. So it's broken out principal and interest.
And then we see
There's I think 60-something thousand in there for the interest on the ban that we have for the central school feasibility study, because that will come due in FY '26.
so, health insurance is going up 11%.
And that's
11.
actual numbers.
I was able to virtually attend the GIC meeting on Thursday, and they released their rates. And I was able to tie it to our February billing, and we're going up about 11.2%.
Told you, this is where the dead part comes.
Well, this is, I mean,
We are not abnormal for,
I've been on like the MCTA listserv, and there's towns that have gone up almost 20%. So they're all seeing this huge increase, anywhere between 10 and 20. I've seen people posting. It's the GLP-1 drugs that are causing a lot of the increase.
Isn't there a plan that we can get into that doesn't cover the GLP-1 drugs?
We've talked to NFP, and they've kind of went out to see what other insurances are covered, like what other options we have, and the GIC has actually been the best rates.
So I just want to say that 11% compared to what I see on the outside world is significant increase in cost.
For like private
In the private
companies?
sector.
Oh, because we're seeing higher on,
The municipal
on the
side.
municipal side,
Oh, yeah, on the municipal side, yeah.
so.
And that's why I wonder when I see these numbers sometime on the municipal side for healthcare cost increases, and they're significantly lower in the outside world. I'm
Paying
seeing,
us.
I'm seeing 3 and 5%.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone to, like she said, NFPs are basically our health insurance advisor, has pulled all our claims rates. We've, we've been looking at what other people are going up, and it's nothing we're doing, and it's not,
Well, I'm not blaming you.
that, no, I know, I don't know the answer to how to fix it's a huge problem. You see every South Shore, all the articles in the South Shore for towns that are in in a budget crisis, it's all retirement and health insurance. It's the same in every town.
Right. And so our retirement allotment's gone up $330,000 over last year's.
Yep, that will continue to grow at about 7.5% for the next 6 years, the retirement. And we can only hope that health insurance, doesn't grow, but we're gonna have to assume going forward that health insurance is gonna grow 10% a year.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
We
there's
don't
a-
have anything to say otherwise.
Sorry, I just read an article this weekend about Blue Cross Blue Shield Massachusetts reports $400 million loss driven by GLP-1 spending, so.
Yeah.
So they're an insurance company, they're gonna go out of business, huh? I don't think so.
Now they're gonna increase the premiums.
And what is the Medicare insurance line?
That's what we pay in Medicare, through payroll.
For people who aren't part of the pension plans?
No,
Part-
No,
Medicare-
Medicare comes out no matter what.
Oh, yeah, okay,
so
I'm
it's
sorry,
like
yeah.
our weekly payroll,
Pay the-
Medicare.
Employers have to match what the employees put in. Doesn't matter whether you're private or public, all employers have to, all people
Oh,
have
it's-
to participate.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
WPA title, that's the sewer? I mean, the septic systems?
yeah, so those are all, that's when you see the budget, like with the revenues, that's offset by the revenues coming in from people paying off their betterment loans.
There's really not that much more left on there, huh?
On those loans?
Yeah.
No, we've been doing, it seemed like we had enough people like prepay, so if they sold their house, they paid off their loan in full. So we had a pretty healthy balance in there that for the last, at least since I've been here, and I've been here over 3 years now, we've been lending of our own funds within that. So we're not borrowing from the state, we're just re-lending funds that we've already borrowed. So those are winding down, but we've still been able to keep up with the program.
And there's the water department there.
Right, and they pay, that money comes back in from the water department. And they will, we talked about this earlier, the quarterly billing, how the costs are up for postage and billing for the water, that will come back in from the water department, but we're a year off when we do it because we do it based on actual costs. So in FY '27, we'll get back what we paid in '26 from the water department.
So you can become, from a $400,000 investment to a 16 million, right? Is that the bottom line?
I think that's the bottom line, yeah. 16 point, almost 3 million.
She is our budget buster.
Yeah.
She is the doll.
It's my office.
Debt, health insurance, and retirement.
I understand all the, are the school superintendents or something gonna be meeting with
Tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Yeah. The Plymouth County superintendents are meeting with Tom O'Brien for Plymouth County retirement to kind of air their concerns about the increase in retirement and how these numbers are affecting.
All the schools, so every community.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any other questions, folks? Hmm?
No,
You all got a big smile on your face. We're good to go? All right.
that's a grimace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So, present balance and set appropriation. All right, we have another
Did we do
special.
library?
No, this is the reserve fund. No, this is a reserve fund for the copier?
Yeah, it's for the copiers here in Town Hall, the police station. We have maintenance contracts and such. And in fact, if you look at what the request was for '26, I bumped it up by $2,000. And I was right to make the request, but we're getting the contracts now that have to be paid this spring. And we're not gonna have sufficient money to cover all the contracts. So that's why I'm asking.
All right, so that reserve fund transfer to cover the copier contract, so we don't run out of money before the end of the year, is for $1,642. Charlie just explained it, if anybody's got any questions. Wanna make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to transfer $1,642 from the reserve fund to cover the cost of the copiers.
All right,
I'll second that.
all those in
Sorry,
favor?
George.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. That concludes the meeting, unless there's anybody else here to bring anything before the board, committee.
And we just have to sign everything.
We just have to sign these off.
Okay.
All right, with that, we'll say good night.
Good night.